Welcome to the Revenge Story Times channel. The evening had started off like any other dinner party, casual, intimate, a chance to catch up and make small talk with my boss and a few of my colleagues from work. My wife and I had been invited by my boss, Mr. Thompson, to a small gathering at his place. It was a cozy dining room, the kind with soft lighting and a table set with fine china and wine glasses. The kind of place where you expect things to go smoothly, where you can lose yourself in the chatter and good food. We were seated around the table, and it felt almost like a relief to take a break from the usual work stress. My wife was her usual charming self, making small talk, keeping the conversation light. I was grateful for the chance to relax with her. But that relief was short-lived. As the evening carried on, people talked about work, sports, and upcoming weekend plans. My wife offered to fetch some more wine and got up from the table, walking over to the nearby wine closet. She kneeled down, reaching for a bottle at the bottom. That's when it happened. Greg, one of the younger guys from the office, noticed her position. It wasn't just that he noticed, it was how he looked at her. Like he saw an opportunity. He stepped toward her with a slow, almost predatory grace, a smirk playing on his lips. I watched, my eyes narrowing, sensing that something was off, but I didn't quite know what was coming. Without warning, Greg raised his hand and gave my wife a firm slap on the ass. The sound was sharp, echoing through the otherwise peaceful room. Time seemed to slow down as my wife froze, the bottle halfway out of her grasp. Her expression shifted from casual to a mix of confusion and shock. That's when I felt the surge of anger building inside me. The room went dead silent, even the distant hum of conversation from the other guests seemed to disappear. I felt my blood start to boil, heat rushing to my face. Before I could stop myself, I stood up from my chair and shouted, "What the hell did you just do?" Greg didn't say anything at first, just stood there with that same cocky expression, as if nothing had happened. It felt like a lifetime passed in the span of a few seconds. Then finally, he spoke, but it wasn't an apology. It was a defense. "I was just messing around," he said, the words coming out almost dismissively, like he was trying to play it off. That was all it took. The anger in me surged to a boiling point. Before I knew it, I was charging toward him. My instincts took over. I threw a right hook, and it connected with Greg's jaw, knocking him back a couple of steps. The room gasped, a mix of shock and disbelief. Greg staggered, his face now a mix of surprise and irritation. "What the hell, man," he said, looking at me with wide eyes, his voice tinged with a hint of aggression. "Yeah, what the hell, indeed," I said, pushing forward, adrenaline coursing through me. Greg raised his hands, almost like he was trying to ward me off, but I wasn't backing down. "You think you can just slap someone like that and get away with it? Not here. Not tonight." He stepped up, preparing to throw a punch, but I was quicker. I ducked under his swing and landed another punch, right in his gut. He winced, doubling over, and I felt a small surge of relief, at least I knew he felt it too. "I didn't mean anything by it," Greg said, trying to sound conciliatory. "It was just a joke, man. You're taking it way too seriously." But it was too late. "A joke?" I said, my voice low and full of contempt. "You think it's funny to treat my wife like that? To show that kind of disrespect in front of everyone?" He didn't have an answer for that, just a sheepish look that felt more like a cover than anything genuine. I wasn't interested in his excuses. I just wanted him out of there. "Get out," I said, pointing to the door. "You're done here." Greg hesitated for a moment, looking around at the stunned faces of my boss and our colleagues. Then, with a huff, he turned and stormed out of the room, the door slamming behind him. The air in the room felt thick with tension. For a few moments, there was nothing but silence. Then, like a wave, the awkwardness set in. Conversations that had been lively moments ago now seemed hollow. People started looking at their phones or shifting uncomfortably in their seats. It felt as if the room had turned into a waiting room for something that just wasn't going to happen. Finally, Mr. Thompson approached me, standing a little closer than before, almost like he was trying to gauge my reaction. "You did the right thing, boy," he said, his voice soft but authoritative. "Nobody deserves to be treated like that, especially not in front of everyone." I nodded, not really knowing how to feel. Part of me was relieved, but the other part felt exhausted from the whole ordeal. I had acted on instinct, trying to defend what felt like my last line of dignity. As we gathered our things and made our way out, the evening had lost its spark. My wife and I walked out into the cool night, the city streets looking empty and dark. We didn't say much. It felt like everything had just evaporated, my anger, the tension, and even the hope that things might have ended differently. And in that quiet moment, I knew that it wasn't just about what happened at the dinner party. It was about standing up for something real, for my wife, for myself, and for respect. Thank you for listening. Until the end, see you in the next episode of Revenge Story Times. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Goodbye.